Well, after a morning of laughter and llamas with hats.
All the laughter is over.
Laughter. Carl!
Mike!
Yeah, I guess that's if you know, you know. Llamas with hats. That is, I can't believe you even brought that up because
Yeah,
there's some real cringy stuff on YouTube.
there is.
You know,
You think?
You can find a lot of cringy stuff. Depends on how deep you want to go in the rabbit hole.
yeah.
You can find a lot of weird. My latest thing is back rooms.
back rooms. What's
Yeah, you look after the show, look it up. And
Back
I'm
rooms.
sorry. Tell Melissa I'm sorry for wasting your entire day.
Oh, so we went. Let's see, llamas with hats, and then there's some that I've sent you, like Vitas.
Oh,
What would Vitas do?
ugh. That still pops up occasionally.
Yeah.
Awful. It's the Russian people, man.
Yeah,
If they're not invading smaller countries, satellite countries, they're listening to terrible music.
it's a crazy. He's actually an amazing singer.
Okay.
He's an opera singer.
But his music is not amazing.
So it's like
No.
Weird Al Yankovic.
Worse.
Sorta.
Worse, yeah.
But the difference is Weird Al Yankovic isn't serious about his music. I mean, he is, but it's not
Yeah,
his fun music. This music is not fun.
Okay.
it's crazy.
Vitas.
And then the first one. Remember the first one I sent you? I'm Old Greg.
Old Greg. Oh, yeah. Old Greg's a legend.
Yeah. You ever heard of Old Greg?
Nope.
All right.
I don't go down these particular rabbit holes,
Yeah.
Mike.
Well, it was a show. Well, it was a
It's,
comedy
it's
group.
British.
Yeah, the Mighty Boosh
Okay.
is a comedy troupe. Kind of like take off of their like Monty Python.
Yeah,
They
kind of like
came out
that.
yeah.
after Monty Python, but
Benny Hill.
yeah. It was a whole comedy consortium. I mean, it was the three of them or something like that.
Yeah.
And Old Greg was a man fish.
And fish.
Yeah. He liked Bailey's
Yeah, in a shoe.
in his shoe.
So it's kind of like
You want to do watercolors?
kind of like Paul.
Yeah. Old Paul.
Do you love me? Do you love me like I love you, Howard?
Oh, God.
It is. It's cringy,
It's
but
weird. It's funny weird. It's just weird.
yeah.
Yeah. Outside my wheelhouse.
What are you doing in my waters, mother liquor?
Did you ever see Kids in the You ever watch Kids in the Hall?
Nope.
It's just like the British version of Kids in the Hall.
Yeah,
Like little skit comedies that are kind of weird.
yeah. And it's not
Like the-
live like Saturday Night Live or anything.
See, I never watched Saturday Night Live either.
Huh?
I used to,
No.
but not anymore. It's too political
Yeah.
now. Everything is about politics now. If
Is it
anything's
everything in the world about politics?
Well, yeah. just if there's anything good, it'll show up on my news feed somewhere.
I like
A little-
Michael Shea
little
and
clip.
Colin Yost.
They're funny.
Especially when
pretty
they
funny.
swap jokes.
I like the classic Saturday Night Lives.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking John Belushi.
Oh yeah, that was the best.
Pepsi,
Dan
Pepsi, no
Aykroyd.
Coke
It was-
chips.
Yeah.
That was that one, and then when they got replaced with Eddie Murphy and that whole gang,
Joe Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo, that was a pretty great. Team too. So was the with the one with Will Ferrell and Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
That was the last really
Martin
good.
Short, Adam Sandler.
That was their last really good. Even I like Andy Samberg is actually pretty funny,
Yeah.
but it's getting
Well, he's the one that did the whole series with Justin Timberlake.
yes,
You know, step one, cut a hole in the box.
yeah. And they had
right?
the I can't say it on the air, but
The second. Well, there was three.
there was the one about the mothers,
The mother lover,
mother.
and then what was the third one?
Oh, I don't remember. I remember it because it's on the Lonely Planet album.
No, the second one is the one with Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
No. Mother Lover is the second one.
Yes,
And then
Susan Sarandon's in the video.
yes. And the third one is with Lady Gaga.
Yeah, it's on the Lonely
Oh,
Planet,
It,
Lonely Island.
it ain't gay if it's a three-way.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Lonely Island has the album.
yeah?
It's all on that.
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hell that with you've heard that one?
No, I have
Oh,
not.
Another rabbit hole for you to dive into later.
Jeez. Anyway, the whole thing is like it's a trilogy with Justin Timberlake and Andy Samberg from Saturday Night Live. And the first one, we can't really say the name of it, because it's
Okay.
step one.
Vulgar.
It's just one word, it's really
It's inappropriate.
it's inappropriate.
Okay.
Cut a hole in the box. But you know, a lot of people will know by saying cut a hole. Step one, cut a hole in the box.
Yeah.
They'll know what it is. So, Laura says, I'm on a boat with Little John.
Yes, it's the best. It's absolute best.
Morning, Laura. So this morning we have Scott Fryer. Hey, Scott.
Hi,
Fryer.
good morning.
Along with this guy, Chris.
Yeah, you don't have retiree road today.
No, well, I mean,
kind of.
I'm kind of
we
retired.
do.
Oh
He's
yeah.
a USN retired, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm retired military, so that kind of counts.
Yeah.
I still work every day, but
It's well, so does he.
What is this work thing you speak of?
So it's just a new version of retiree row.
Okay.
I told Paul, I said, you know, hey, just kind of
Did-
because he filled in earlier this.
Would this
week.
be like the new and improved retiree row?
Oh, don't
Retiree row 2.0?
yeah.
2.0.
Part 2.
Part two.
Yeah.
Men in tights. Yeah, don't say that to Paul. But anyway, I think he was kind of like wondering. He goes, "Are you taking the day off?" No. I just, he did Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Wow.
So
You must be exhausted.
Yeah, he must be tired.
he could be. He could be.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes getting up in the morning all the time. So I think he's here because he's up anyway.
You know what I think he doesn't like?
What?
Preparation age.
Where does that come from?
It's an ongoing thing with Paul now. He wakes up, preparation age, has his coffee.
Yeah.
He's a pain in the ass. Victoria wants to know, how did Scott Fryer make it up the stairs?
I'm new and improved.
Yeah.
We have one of
I'm
those
Scott
chair
Fryer
lifts
2.0 now.
installed.
Part 2.
Part, dude, you know what?
We had a chair lift installed just for
That's
Scott.
right.
Because he had the same surgery as Rich had, pretty much, just in a different location.
Yeah, mine was lower. I think Rich's might have been cervical. Mine is lumbar.
Okay.
'Cause,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when he described his surgery, I knew it was the way that they did it was a little different than mine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I wouldn't say I'm
Do you feel
100%.
better? I mean, does your back feel better?
I
Was
have
it-
no other than the surgical site, which
Yeah.
bothers me periodically throughout the day. I have no back pain whatsoever.
really
None. It's
Real.
completely resolved.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, my quality of life has improved immensely over the last 2 weeks. I've been taking Celebrex, which a long term is not good for you. That's why I'm kind of weaning myself off. I actually went cold turkey on it and just taking the Aleve now.
Mm.
He's
But
back doing hot yoga.
yeah, hot yoga. Hey, listen, as soon as I'm able to, I'm going to go do some yoga. So
Goat yoga.
go. You never know. Yoga's really good for your health, and it's good for your body, mind. So I'll do it. Whatever. I'll try anything once.
Have you ever done yoga?
No.
Anything, Scott? Anything?
No.
The only time
I-
I tried
Step
yoga,
one, cut a hole in the box.
Yeah, no. I listen.
the only time I did yoga, I was at the back of the room.
It's listen. It's been a month. Monday will be 2 months since I had the surgery.
Has
So-
it been that long already?
Yep.
Wow.
January 14th, or no 16th. So Monday will be.
Jesus, is this you're flying by already?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It'll be 8 weeks Monday that I had the surgery, and I'm getting around. The mornings are a little slow,
Mhm.
Just like when you have an old car and you start it, takes a few minutes to warm up. Same, but by mid morning, afternoon, I'm feeling spry.
Good for you.
I'm not running any marathons anytime soon, but hopefully Tuesday I'll be getting cleared to go to physical therapy, and then by June I'll be a brand new man.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a Brooks and Dunn song.
It is.
Brand new man. So you're happy you did it?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I have no regrets on this. I'm glad I made the decision. Listen, no matter what you're doing, if you're doing something major, everyone's going to have an opinion. And, your friends always try to, with your best interests in mind, they try to tell you what to do and what not to do.
Or once
But I'm glad I listened to my doctor, the guy who went to school for 100 years to learn how to do this. And, there was options. I had 3 options. And I went with, yes, it was the most invasive option and the most risky option, but it was also the
the biggest payoff.
It was the biggest payoff. Yeah, it was the highest percentage of fixing the problem.
Yeah.
Because there are people that have had this surgery, unfortunately, that it didn't work or they had complications and it just made their issues worse. But that was a risk I was willing to take. That's where I was at after almost 3 years of, crippling back pain, and I just didn't want to do with it anymore. So I was tired of epidurals. That was completely out of the question. So
And
I wasn't
now
doing that anymore.
You're a brand new man.
I feel it. Not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
about
getting there.
60% right now.
Very good.
So as soon as I lose a little bit more weight, I've lost almost 20 pounds already. So I heard Rich say yesterday, the first week or two after surgery, he didn't eat. Now, completely relatable. I wasn't hungry. I didn't eat. You drop a lot of water weight. Yeah, bloating, stuff like that. I didn't have a beer, which is for me like probably the longest I've gone without one in since nothing.
Wow.
For 6 weeks I didn't touch any at all because I was on meds.
Yeah.
So it was good to take a break and detox your liver. So
are you back?
I owed my liver big time.
Needed a break.
Yeah, he needed a vacation.
Laura wants to know, how does sitting in the bleachers feel?
Watching that team feels great. I don't even think about it.
Yeah. So last night, Griswold moved on to the quarterfinals and the CIAC.
Wolverines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. They defeated Suffield, which is up by East Windsor.
Yeah.
South Windsor.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It's tough. Good school. They had some really good players. Really, they had a lot of length, that team, athletic. But listen, I know that we have other things to get to, but I just wanted to say about that team. Our boys team we talked about it before the show. Their defense is relentless. They wear teams out. I mean, it's been the same story every single year. If you follow this team all year, and I know you have, you see every game, it's close, a tight game, halftime, third quarter starts. As soon as we stretch out from halftime, it's over for the other team because our defense just wears teams out. And that's a credit to these kids who are out there executing, and a credit to Coach Molesky, who's doing a fantastic job, rotating. I know it seems frustrating when these kids are getting rotated in and out, but our kids are fresh. By the end of the game, our kids aren't tired. Yeah. Their team is completely worn out.
Well, the kids that are on Griswold look at the Strain triplets. They're cross country athletes.
Oh,
these kids are built to go.
Can I just tell you, last night, this is one of the other things I love about this team. It's never just one kid, right? Because I don't think I'd get much argument when I say that Christian Russell has been the best player on the team. Him and Jeff Stuvenotz have been above and beyond this year. They've been great. The whole team the whole team has been awesome. I mean, they're undefeated at home and 13-0. But those guys have really stepped up their game this year, and they've been the catalyst to get us where we're at right now. But if one of those guys has an off game, it's somebody else. Last night it was Lucas and Jacob Strain were just crazy last night. Michael came in the game and played lockdown defense on their best player. Yeah. And he was physical with that kid. And he wore that kid out. And you could see it. We caused them to use all their timeouts before the end of the third quarter. So the fourth quarter came, they had no timeouts. I think we were losing by 3 points at the time. And you could almost see
one of the things that
the Suffield team losing steam as it went along.
One of the things I said to Kevin Merchant last night when we were doing play-by-play is that in the third quarter, Griswold only scored like 5 points.
Yeah, we had a slow start, but then Jacob Strain hit a bomb three. Evan Merchant hit a huge 3-pointer. Right, he found his shot and he hit a huge 3-pointer in the corner that gave us I think a 6 or 9 point lead.
Well, that was in the fourth.
But that was really
third. But in the third, what I was talking about is that one of the things that Kevin and I were talking about is that the way the Wolverines were not scoring, we should have actually been down by 5 or 6.
We should have been up by 15.
Right, but they were not executing any kind of offense, but because they weren't hitting.
Right.
What was the third quarter? I think it was like 8-7,
something like that.
They should have hit more, and we were playing really. They weren't scoring at all. They just I mean, the Wolverines, they weren't
They
scoring.
weren't hitting.
Right.
We should have been pulling away, but the way they played, you thought Suffield. would have
Yeah, I
pulled
mean,
away.
we were
So
down.
I said to Birch, I said, "How are we up by 1
I think we were down 5 or 6 at one point in the third quarter,
beginning, Yeah.
and then
No. Oh, yeah.
in the third quarter we were down by like 5 or 6. It was like
Well, they went on.
it was
a
like
6-2
30.
run.
It was
Yeah.
like 36-29 at one point, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
boy. But you just kept the faith, knowing that that Suffield had no timeouts in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
and our kids were just wearing them like an old shoe,
Yeah.
and it was just from there they just took over. I said Evan Merchant hit that huge 3-pointer that put us up, and I felt very comfortable after we went up by like 9 and Evan hit that 3.
Mhm.
I felt pretty comfortable with like 5 minutes to go that we were going to run away with it. And then we just turnover,
Right.
and we kept converting those turnovers into points.
Long story short, Grizzle won by 20,
Yeah.
Wow.
65 to 40.
And they were down by 6 with maybe
Yeah.
2.5, 3 minutes
They
left in
just
the third
took
quarter.
over.
Yep.
And we I know like Kevin and I said at the beginning of the game, this is going to be a battle of who is going, who's going to get tuckered out first.
Yeah,
And-
does the Griswold coach push cardio on these kids?
I'm sure. Well, he has a
Well-
lot of kids that are already there as
Yeah.
far as, like they said, the
They're
strain
runners.
The Strain boys are
Right.
world-class runners. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, part of the problem too was Suffield had no depth. Their bench was very short. So they had a big bench, but a lot of those kids didn't see the court. If they did, it was just to give their kids about 30-second blow. But every one of our kids had a hand in that win last
Well, number
night.
23, Evans for Suffield, he was coming in just to eat fouls,
Oh, yeah.
and,
Oh, yeah.
to kind of stop the clock because they couldn't stop the clock. The only way they could do it was foul.
It was, I mean,
And then it got way out of hand.
it was even Tommy Matson was coming in and playing good defense. Cade Rubino came in. He's got great ball handling skills. So it's somebody. Our whole team is so deep.
Yeah.
And I think they're poised to make a deep run here. I mean, we're go to the quarterfinals on Monday night at home.
Mhm.
Hopefully everyone shows out. Great turnout last night,
It's
by
the
the way.
Weaver Beavers.
Great turnout by the town last night, by the way. I love to see the stands full.
But Suffield had
They had a nice student
ton
section.
of people.
But
that
our
came.
student section, one of the best, if not the best in the ECC.
It's 3/4 of the gymnasium.
Yeah.
Is our Grizzle fans.
Yep.
Wow.
But I mean, we were even up in because we set up our table in the bleachers.
Yep.
And we were cramped with people from Suffield.
Our student section kills it though. I love it. They
Yeah.
they have such a great time. And my
Your son
my kid's
is
the ringleader.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and
Him
Gav.
and Gavin D'Amico, they're the ringleaders of that. So that's good. That's what seniors do. Seniors do. They're out there supporting their friends and having a great time. So
I got a kick. They were doing the announcements, and there's your son, right on the end of the line.
he's in the line.
and he's doing. He's like digging a hole.
Yeah. My favorite part of the student section last night was "Who's your barber?" chant.
Yeah. What was that all about?
Well, I don't want to say anything bad about the kids. Some of them had some questionable haircuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you paid attention, go back and look at the film. So the kids were having fun, and they had a little "Who's your barber?" chant, which I thought was pretty funny.
Well,
Creative.
I had said to Merch, I said, "What are they talking about?"
Yeah.
What are they talking about?
A couple of kids had some Slim Shady-esque haircuts. So, but they were having fun. It was good. It was respectful.
Yep.
And the kids had fun, and they all. That's what I like about our kids.
I thought they're making fun of me because I got a haircut yesterday.
All of our kids are
Yes.
super respectful. Sportsmanship is crazy. Every time one of their kids hit the deck or we fouled the kid hard,
Picked them up.
they picked them up off the floor and made sure they were okay.
Them too.
Yeah, they did too. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But that's good. That's just
And there
kids
was
being brought
one
up correct.
parent. There was that one parent from Suffield who was to my right, and
You
Go
missed
ahead.
it though. You missed it.
oh,
When he was one of the last times he screamed, I don't know what he said, and then I screamed because Stone Cold said so. Did you see the guy?
I didn't see him react to
He
that.
looked like 170-pound Stone Cold Steve Austin. He had a camouflage hat.
Yeah.
He was bald with a camo hat and a goatee
Yeah.
and a Bush Light shirt. He looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I yelled out, because Stone Cold said so.
I was waiting for him to go. If you don't like the refs, give me a hell yeah.
What? We should have started saying it every time he yelled. What?
Chris is really trying to follow this.
Yeah,
I noticed.
he's being a good sport.
I'll just sit and watch.
It was good though. Great win. But hey, we gotta refocus. We got Weaver on the Weaver Beavers on Monday.
Beavers.
Monday at 7. So it's a big thing this town. We even moved the Board of Ed meeting to earlier in the evening so we could go support the boys. So it's a big deal.
Hardest game you play is going to be the next one.
That's facts.
Yeah. So Weaver, we played in football.
Yep.
Beat 'em.
Smoked them.
Yeah.
So, but I heard their basketball team is pretty good. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're going to be super athletic and they're going to have size. Just got to play our game.
Melissa Wooten says our kids are amazing.
Yep. Our kids are absolutely amazing.
So you should come to a game. The energy is really
The atmosphere
cool.
is great.
Do they have a matinee?
Oh.
Listen, one of the other things I
Game
like
was at 6. I mean,
before we
Bed
move
at
on,
7.
before we move on, Mike, I just want to say I love the way the town supports these kids. Right? You can look around the stands and you see parents and you see students and you see people in the community, business owners in the community are there. You see faculty. You see the school superintendent was in the house last night.
Yep.
So, other members of the board of education. I saw Marty Oscar in the
I
stands.
saw Marty as well.
So you have all of the town really gets behind these kids.
Or the selectmen show up?
I did not see this like. Anyway, moving on.
That's going to be another subject
another
in
topic.
about 5 minutes. So.
Just curious.
But I just love the way that everyone come out and supports these kids because it's important to them, right? As much as we love going to the
Sure,
games,
yeah.
it's super important to them to look around and see the stands completely full. I mean,
Oh,
last
yeah.
night the stands were packed.
Pumps them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was very little room in the bleachers last night to sit anywhere.
Well, Steve Cravino, the athletic director from Griswold, came up to us before we went live, and he says we've sold 300 tickets already.
Wow.
And they're all bought online through the CAAC. But
Yep.
Yeah.
It was good. Suffield had a nice turnout and it was good banter back and forth between
People
our kids
were calling
and
for
theirs.
comps.
Where was the
but
game?
Yeah.
Didn't get them.
Where'd they play?
Griswold High School.
Okay.
Yep.
So it was a home game.
And we'll call it the dungeon because it's so dark in there. At
The
least just start
whole
calling the
back
gym the
right
dungeon.
corner.
The whole student
is-
section is in the dark.
It's in the dark. It's like, can they even play?
It's,
Because you can't see anything.
It's bad, it's
literally,
bad.
maybe that's how they.
but they're gonna fix. It's gonna be fixed. It's
Oh,
just,
sorry,
it
that's
takes,
the Board of Ed Scott talking.
Yeah, it will be fixed. It'll get fixed.
I think they
Steve's
should,
on it.
I think they should just take the lights from the football field.
The old ones
Yes, that are coming down because
Retrofit them for the
because they're
put them
not
right in
good.
the.
Yeah. Listen, speaking of that, as someone who calls games for SNSN in that booth, how awesome is it going to be to not have to go tackle by trying to see around that pole? It's going to be gone. It's gone.
awesome.
No more third leg in the middle of the field.
See, because what he's talking about is like
the
the
light
pole.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, right on the 50-yard line.
50-yard line.
Mhm.
It's like,
Whose idea was that?
I don't know. I don't know who designed that. It was just.
Whoever it is probably doesn't watch football. So,
Was it you, Chris?
It was.
Yeah.
so yeah, but that project is moving
Used to be a
along.
pain.
That project's moving along finally. So
Let's start from the beginning
Let's
on
go.
this one because
All
this
right.
is one of the things I really wanted to talk about. And Chris had some questions, like I know last time when we talked about the multi-purpose field.
Mhm.
As a resident, Chris is not really a sports fan. Correct?
what?
Correct.
Yeah, he's not a sports fan at all. But as a resident, he had questions about how it's going to affect his taxes and that
Yep.
kind of stuff, and whatever.
Can I just say that the last sporting event I went to, Tater the Gator was there.
Oh, the Navigators. Yeah. All right.
That's how long
good old
ago
days,
I watched
yeah.
a sporting event.
It was the good old days with Tater. Tater was
Take
good.
me back.
So it was a referendum. It was voted on. It was voted, yes, let's get the multi-purpose field.
How wide was the vote?
I don't know, like 30, 40 votes, maybe, give or take.
Yeah.
So was it close? I mean,
It was
It
close.
was close, yeah.
Closer than I
It
thought it would be.
Yeah, even Paul sat here and said it was a lot closer
Yeah.
than he
I think
thought.
a lot of people didn't vote.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, because, well, I mean, I don't say I think. You look at the numbers, a lot of people didn't vote.
No, we did.
I think we had, 30%, 33% turnout?
Not even.
Not even. It's terrible.
Like 20.
It's awful.
Yeah, but
And
that's typical of the voting. in
it's
this
typical
town.
of the town, exactly.
Yeah.
But still, it's disgusting to me. No matter what it is, whether it's a football field, a senior center, a gun range,
You know what?
whenever we have a referendum, the people of the town, because the people are quick to jump on the social media and complain about taxes and complain about this or that. But where are you at?
Yeah, we sing that song all the time.
Yep.
We sing that song all the time. Here.
Or the I didn't know crowd?
Oh, yeah.
Please,
Oh, there's
you're
there's-
lazy. If
no,
you say I didn't
no.
know about that, you're lazy because you didn't care enough to know about it.
Yeah, the whole the I didn't know about it is not a good excuse anymore.
Case in
It's
point.
just
Try saying
not.
that to a cop.
Yeah.
I
Case,
didn't know
Case in
the
point,
speed limit
though.
was only 25.
case in point. Monday night, we had the Board of Education had our public hearing on the proposed BOE budget, where we were gonna Sean McKenna, the superintendent, was gonna. We had a presentation all made out, and he was gonna explain the entire school budget, give us numbers,
Mhm.
show you where we're at, and
This is the initial presentation.
we haven't voted on the budget yet.
Right.
But this is the initial presentation, just so the town can get a warm fuzzy for what's going on, where your money is going, and where we are in relation to last year or years past, where we are in relation to other towns in the surrounding area and other towns within similar districts, which we fall well under as far as percentage wise. But it was put out. I know for a fact it's been put out all over the town webpage. It's all over the town social media. It's all over Griswold now. Griswold Discuss. Pretty much almost every single person that works at the school shared it on their social media. So it's been everywhere. So people can say, "Oh, I didn't know that we were having a meeting." 4 people showed up, and the first selectman showed up. That's what she's supposed to do. So I don't count her.
Mhm.
But four taxpayers showed up, and one of them had outstanding questions, well thought out, outstanding questions that we answered. But I know when the budget comes out, once we vote on it and it's going to go to town hall, people are going to be like, well, what are we spending this money on? Well, where were you
Yeah,
at?
that's the nature of the beast.
I know.
It happens
I'm
every
venting
year.
here. I know this.
Yeah.
I've been living here long enough to know this, but someone's always going to complain and that I guarantee you, because I know who the 4 people were that showed up,
Mhm.
and the people that showed up aren't the ones that are going to be complaining about. It's all about. I'll say the gaff. You can't say it out on the radio. It's all about the gaff.
Okay.
I'll tell you that.
The
what that
Giva.
yeah,
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah.
It's all about that.
How many are you giving today? Some people will say, I'm giving 0.
Right. Like I know I watch your show enough. I know where Chris stands.
Mhm.
Like I don't. You come in and you say, hey, I don't. Whatever. I don't go to meetings because
Right.
XYZ, and you're straight up about it.
And
And
we can agree to disagree.
correct. You can always agree to disagree, and I like that.
Victoria says it's frustrating that people don't show up, but those are the ones that bitch the most.
100%. There's a difference between questioning something
everywhere.
and complaining about
But
something. There's a
you know
huge
what?
difference.
It's not even about politics too. It's like I remember working at Verizon. The people that would come in and spend the most, you never see them.
Yeah.
They're
And
like happy with what they got, but the people that were like trying to be as cheap as possible.
This widget went up 3 cents.
No, but they're the ones that were complaining all the time. Well, this phone doesn't do that, and this phone did. Well, you know what? You didn't want to get this. Well, that should be included. Well, it's not.
Listen,
You know?
this always the people that are like, well, I have to work. And that's fine. I know people work second shifts, can't come. However, Sean McKenna and both Sean and Mary Beth, the chairman of the Board of Education, their lines of communication are open 24/7, 365. Their emails are available, and they always say, if you have any, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and they'll answer your questions. They're not going to ignore your emails. You will get a question answered if you do.
I can say on the one day that we did discuss the multi-use field, when I had questions, one of the Board of Ed people was right there online.
Mary Beth, yeah.
Yeah, I
Mary Beth probably.
explaining.
Yep.
Well, I'll be the first one, and this has nothing to do with being any part of a political party at all. But I think Griswold, I feel, is extremely lucky and fortunate to have people like Mary Beth, who she's there. She will answer your questions. You may not like the answer, but she's going to give it to you straight up. And she's there, and she's available, and she's accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And the one guy that doesn't get enough credit at all.
I know where you're going with this.
Me.
Yeah, Chris, good enough. Yeah,
Yeah. What?
Sean McKenna.
I have
You want to
100%.
talk about an unsung hero? This man has taken this school district, all right, and more than doubled the revenue that comes in what, 4 years, 6 years?
Something like that.
He's more than doubled, because of having agreements with different sending towns, different towns that can send kids to Griswold.
Right.
The latest one being Norwich
I think what's more important,
and Preston.
what's more important here it's great that we have the money coming in. Obviously, it's always good to be in the black.
Well, I didn't get a chance.
Right.
to
But I
finish,
think what's the most important thing that Sean has done, and he's brought respect back to Griswold Public Schools. People can complain and say, "Oh, we're the state average is here and we're here," but look at the trend. Okay, people don't want to do the research; they want to just spout numbers off, but they don't want to go look at the historical trend. Look where we've come, look where we're at, and look where we came from. There's an upward trend in the quality of education that our kids are getting at Griswold Public Schools.
And I think that's it. I think both the people that we just mentioned, I think their goal isn't necessarily to get more money. It's to improve the quality of the education that our
Yes.
children get.
Right, but that's not really where I was going with the whole thing.
Okay, so go, Mike.
So you do need the revenue.
Right.
That is the one thing.
Yeah.
But the thing that really strikes me the most when it comes to Sean is the vision of moving Griswold forward.
Love it.
Right.
Right. And since he has come and taken the reins here at Griswold Public Schools, he has moved Griswold forward. Perception is
Right.
one thing.
Mhm.
Image, huge. The image has really changed.
Yeah, look at all the cool.
And that
little
that reflects
upgrades
on
everywhere.
the town.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I think that's because he really worries about the level of education that the students get.
I mean, I've mentioned it a million times. Just the sign.
Yeah, the
Outside,
sign,
the
the banners
small
that are
sign.
hanging up on the light poles when you drive on the
Yeah.
school,
Mm-hmm.
just the appearance when you drive on the school campus, it's impressive.
Yes.
It's not a dump.
Right.
It's clean.
That's correct.
It's the school campus looks fantastic, and that's a testament to his leadership.
Yeah.
Yep.
At every level, I'm fortunate enough to be a member of the board and to sit and listen to all these awesome educators that are in our school, because every board, all of them come. Whether it's the principal of the high school, if it's Aaron, or Glenn Labossiere, or
And these are people that have been here for a long
listen,
time.
from the elementary school up to the highest levels of the Board of Education, it's just people should come to these meetings and just listen to what's going on and see some of the programs that we have that have been implemented in the last couple of years in our school. And
Esports.
and it's when Sean says, look at esports,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But when Sean says moving Griswold forward, he means it. And if you look at the data,
He's in the trenches.
he
not sitting
walks
in
the
a
walk.
cushy office.
Yes,
Waving a pencil. And
it is
stuff like
kind of
that.
a nice office, though. I mean,
Used to be my English class
Yeah.
back in the day.
Let me just say that one of my sons is actually part of the maintenance staff there at the high school. And
Which one?
Stephen,
Oh,
short little stocky kid, dark hair.
yeah, they do a great job.
Anyways, yeah, they do a great job because whenever I have a conversation with him, he talks about how much that staff cares about the finished quality of their product.
Yep.
Mm.
And I mean, if you go from Sean all the way down to the maintenance guys, they all care about the quality the kids get, whether it's the cleanliness or the education or the sports possibilities. They all care.
not only that, but you talk about your son working, as a custodian. I mean, it's every department. Look at Melissa Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who works in the office, at Griswold High School.
Well,
Always,
Yeah, she's
participating.
smiling face when you walk in the
Yes.
office. Yeah, all the people that work in the office from
Yes.
I listen. I can't say enough good things. I'm glad that both of my children attend
Mhm.
Griswold Public Schools, and I'm proud of the way they've been treated. I mean, not everybody has the same experience, unfortunately, but that's just the way of the world. Someone's always going to have a bad experience. Nothing's perfect.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not really sitting here to blow a trumpet, for
No, I get it.
somebody, but
Tuba.
or tuba, because I
tuba.
did play the tuba in high school. But you watch the folks that are leading. They're leading.
Mm-hmm.
They're not sitting back and watching somebody
Right.
else take the reins. They're the ones that
Just
do it.
Look at last night. The two kids,
Yeah.
the two students who last night, Summer and it's right at the tip of my tongue.
Danny Sims,
Danny Sims,
who is an absolute monster beast.
I really hope that his knee heals so he can play at the next level. But look at those kids get honored as
He's going to Curry.
CIAC
He's going to
scholar
Curry.
athletes. What's that?
No, he's not going to Curry, is he?
He's going to Curry.
Okay.
It's like both of his brothers.
Brothers are there, yeah.
But I mean, look, he has a 101 average. Summer has a 10. Summer Roulette has 107 average. They were honored last night as CIAC student athletes.
Yeah.
And that's great. Look at the quality of kids coming out of the school. Like, I think there's a number, it's like 80% of the kids that not go to college, but they go on to pipeline programs to learn trades. 80% of those kids graduate and have jobs. Look at all the kids. Like, we have a student right now who's a fantastic athlete. She's going to West Point. She's going to West Point.
Miranda?
Yeah. And all these kids that got the Strain Boys are all going to be high-level athletes in college.
Do we know where they're going? I know we know
Michael's going to Quinnipiac. Yeah, the other two haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I think they're close, but they haven't decided. So I can't comment on that because that wouldn't be fair.
Right.
But
right.
but the number of kids that are going on to play sports at the next level, and I love what they're doing. They're taking those kids who are going to play sports at the next level, and they're putting them in the gym. They're putting posters up them on the wall of the seniors that are going on to play sports at the next level. We've committed already.
So here's a comment from Sarah, who had a son that graduated from Griswold High School. Confer. Is that Confer?
Yep.
It's because I realized the true value of GHS when my son reported to his first year of college as a sophomore because of his UConn/AP credits he earned at Griswold High School. And then I realized the quality of the education he received as he was so well prepared to mail a double STEM major on the dean's list.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
Griswold
awesome.
Public Schools.
And one of the other things you're doing is the capstone project.
Yeah.
And the vision of the graduate I think is fantastic. They're not teaching these because, like, you could probably say the same, Chris. When they're like, but I want to learn how to like do stuff like pay taxes and be a functioning human being in society. You're like, shut up and square dance. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I
learn how
do.
to use the pommel horse. But
How do you balance your check?
they do that. They're doing that. They have classes where these kids are learning life skills. The vision of the graduate. When you're 17, 16 years old, you're giving this is so stupid. But when you look back at it from strictly a parent's point of view, I love it because they're teaching these kids. They had a dress up day the other day. Dylan went to school in a jacket and tie and dress slacks. They're teaching these kids how to you were part of it, interviewing skills, how to write your resume, how to write cover letters. Most of these kids come out of school.
They asked me to come back. Which
They
I'm
don't-
surprised, but
They don't know. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know how to square dance, right? They know how to make
Do-si-do.
they can make go to shop class and make a screwdriver, but they don't know how basic life skills. Teach them how to change a tire. I mean, listen, part of your job as a parent is to teach your kids some of these things too. The onus is not on the school, but a lot of those kids don't have that. But I think it's a wonderful thing. I love Vision of the Graduate. I love what they're doing, and I love the Capstone Project. And I think the Capstone Project is something exclusive that Griswold's doing. So,
no, it's around.
Is it?
I think different schools have different spins on it.
right. I love it. I think it's great, especially for the kids that are graduating and
Are
moving
you
on.
familiar with the capstone?
Oh, yeah.
What it is? Okay.
So not every kid's going to college.
Right.
Not every kid's going to play sports in college. I think I saw a number, 7% of high school athletes go on to play NCAA sports. And so you have to, I'm proud of my son and that he's doing, and all these kids that I watch grow up.
Is he a polar bear?
He is a polar bear. He will be. Well, he will be.
Looking at the hat.
Yeah, he will be a polar bear in the fall. But all these kids.
Northern Ohio?
Ohio Northern University.
Okay.
Yep. He's going to play lacrosse there. But he's going to study construction management. He wants to own his own business one day.
It's a build stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. But look, he did his ride along. He went with Bill Hanley, Coach Hanley, because he works for a lumber company, and he went with him for his ride along because he does construction stuff.
Gotcha.
And Bill took him to construction sites, took him to jobs. Dylan loves that stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that our kids need to learn. Because again, not every kid's going to college. Not every kid's going to learn a trade. Some of these kids are just going to be volunteer firefighters here, or some kids are going to be whatever. But every kid has a different experience. But I think on the whole, Griswold has been doing a fantastic job, and it gets better every single year. And that's why I wanted to be part of the Board of Ed when I was asked. And I said, absolutely. I didn't hesitate because I believe in what the school is doing, and I believe in obviously the future of our town. And that's our kids. We got to take care of them.
So let's talk a little bit of drama.
I don't know if I should.
I love drama.
Oh, I am. You don't have to say anything.
Okay.
But I think you will.
Okay.
So the town of Griswold went to referendum and voted yes on a multi-purpose field. What's a multi-purpose field? Well, football,
Lacrosse,
lacrosse, soccer, track and field, all of these.
Ultimate
Battle of
Frisbee.
the marching bands.
Ultimate frisbee, yeah.
Battle of the marching bands.
It could be changed if we wanted to someday have field hockey. They could
Yeah.
do that too.
Let's see. Full contact karaoke.
Yeah.
I mean,
Full contact
I
chess.
lie
Yeah. Chess. I lie.
without the walls.
High lie. Yeah, there's a lot. Track.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, listen, I know there are people upset that the project's going to get started during track season, but do you really want your kids running on that track right now? It'd be like doing laps down Lathrop Road. Because that's, I mean, right
Yeah.
now, that track is not runnable. I wouldn't, if
It
my son
hasn't
ran
been.
track,
It hasn't. It was not just this year. I
if
mean,
my
it's-
kids ran track, please send me someplace where
A couple
there's
years ago,
another-
Melissa and I would just walk the track, and
It's
we
bad.
would not bring our dog. No.
Yeah. It's
No,
potholes.
we're not walking our dog on the track.
Yeah.
Never.
Ever.
Oh.
No.
But
Well, we kept tripping.
there are people that do, which I love.
No.
Not to walk their dogs on the track. I'm talking about, like, I've seen Archie
Mhm.
walking the track or walking the school grounds, and I've seen people walking on the track. And once this is done, this is going to be open for everybody.
Is there something you can name? You can say one name, just the first name.
Yeah, everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Archie.
Him and Robin
Yeah.
walking around. Yeah, I see them walking around, but that's what this is for. But I would not want my kids running on that track because it's dangerous. You got potholes and you have things sticking up, especially some of these kids that are going on to do that at the next level. God forbid some kid blows out his Achilles or blows out an ACL because he's running on a track that's unsafe. And that's
I
what,
blew out my knee running on that
yeah.
track.
See,
Did you?
Yeah.
That's why people that were so vehemently against this track, this new track, I challenged them to go down there and tell me that there's nothing wrong with the
I
one
can
we
tell
have
you,
right now.
just even as a fat guy, walking around and trying to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, I twisted an ankle a couple of times. Accidentally.
It's not
sitting in
good.
One of
Well,
the crevices.
Go walk a lap on this track, then go up to Killingly and walk a lap on their track.
Yep.
And you'll see the difference.
Yep. Same company that's installing ours that did theirs too.
Speaking of which, guess how many incoming freshmen into high school are leaving this coming year?
To go somewhere else?
Yeah, the bubble.
Well,
They're all
yes, I think
staying.
there are a couple that are going to tech school,
tech school, okay, fine,
but
they're
not to ag tech school.
Right,
No one's going to Killingly right as of right now.
they're staying
Uh-huh.
home.
Like I don't know if that has anything to do with sports or whatever,
No, of course.
but I love it. Let's keep our kids here.
So here's the drama. So with the referendum, yeah, this has been a trip. So the referendum passed, right?
Mhm.
So, and Chris, I'm really glad you're here because I want to ask you this question.
Sure.
Okay, as a Griswold resident,
Yep.
who doesn't give a crap about sports really,
Right.
You have your other interests, sports just isn't one of them.
Right.
But the referendum passed.
Yep.
You would think that the project would move forward, right?
Right.
Because why?
The referendum passed.
Right. And the residents voted on it, right?
Yep.
End of story. What do you feel about somebody trying to kind of not pushing it forward?
Well, I don't like the way the vote came out, so I want to get another vote. Is that what we're talking
Well, they
about?
can't.
They can't. They couldn't.
Okay, so
They want to stall it or just kind of.
how are they going to stall it?
Oh,
I mean, are they going to get
I don't
more
know.
studies done? Are they going to?
No.
no.
Are they going to?
Build a committee.
They're going to build a committee.
Which we already have in place, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought that's what the school board.
The ad hoc
was.
committee has been there
See,
for 3 years.
that's it. There you go. There you go. He just said it right there.
I heard.
A non-sports fan, and he just said it. Well, I thought the school board would do it.
We've had a committee in place for 3 years.
Yeah, I was going to say if there's a committee,
You
in,
just boom.
The
You did it.
school building committee has been in place forever. It's part of the BOE
Yeah.
subcommittee.
so they want to build a subcommittee to the subcommittee.
No, they just want to do a new committee altogether.
Which there's no ordinance, and there would be no clout.
Okay. So what's the deal? To me, it says it's a
So the selectmen weren't
Non-starter.
signing. The selectmen weren't signing.
they're not signing
They
because
they weren't. They weren't signing because they wanted to do a committee. And
I don't know if that's what the reason.
well,
is.
I'm going to say it. I mean, they wanted. Maybe they wanted their hands in everything.
Okay.
Even though the school is their own entity, the Board of Education has their own budget, doing all that.
Well, to me, it would say that they can do that right up until the point of the next vote for selectmen. You want to delay. Guess what? When we put a new selectman in place, we'll get it signed.
It's signed, thankfully.
It got signed yesterday,
Okay.
but there was about a month?
It's been about a month.
About a month delay. Whatever the reason.
Okay.
Maybe it was a terrible flood. Maybe it was an earthquake. I don't know. Maybe something like that.
Maybe
Pestilence.
it's because Jewett.
Pestilence.
Maybe it's because Jewett City is a separate entity from Griswold, and if you can get them to merge, then it'll be easier to sign the. I don't know.
Maybe they didn't want to use town paper to write it on.
I know. It would have come from the
Yeah,
wrong
I don't-
fax
the-
machine
the-
or
the
The
something.
important thing is it's signed. We're moving forward. Hopefully, we'll break ground soon. And
So now you can be like, oh, you're good now. Yeah, I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
I'm going to be.
There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm pissed.
Can
about
I
this
ask
whole
a
thing.
question?
Yeah.
When it comes to breaking ground, who's going to be holding the shovels?
It should be the people that got us to this point. It should be the ad hoc committee.
Yeah. I agree. I
Yep.
agree.
If it's going to be a press thing, who's going to be holding the shovels?
Yeah, it should be Shannon Webster, Ted Koziol, Michelle D'Amico, Jeff Cassidy.
Jeff
Those are the people
Cassidy.
that should be Marty Oscar. Those are the people that were on the board.
100% Marty Osgood.
Those are the people that were on the board. They've been on the board since this project got off the ground
Yeah.
3 years ago, I think, 2.5 years ago. They're the ones that should be
This
holding
is
the
not
shovels.
just some epiphany.
Well, of
that
course,
we had a year
Mary Beth
ago.
and Sean.
Yeah.
But those are the people that should be getting the credit. If they're going to put a plaque up, those people's names should be on the
Yeah.
plaque.
What's the build time on this?
Ha!
Now, here's what I will tell you. Here's what I will tell you. I'm going to tell you exactly what Field Turf, who has installed upwards of 25,000 of these fields. They said if we can get started by May, they will have the field done in time for the football season in September.
Okay.
They do a lot. It used to be, I remember it used to be a long time. It would take like 6 months to get this done. But they've
3 or
come
4
so
months
far
done.
with
Yeah,
the
but that makes
installation
sense if
and the
you
way
look
they
at
do it.
They get paid by the job, not by the hour.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if they
Good
can
point.
turn it around in 3 months versus 6 months, that means they can do 4 year versus 2 year.
And the earlier the better. So we get this if we can get this started by the end of this month, we'll be playing football on it in the fall.
So Victoria says, about the whole, delay in signing, the agreement, so because the problem was is that we needed to have the agreement in place because the company Turf Field had given a price,
Mhm.
and the price was protected up to a certain amount, up to a certain time.
All right.
So if we didn't get this thing signed by the Board of Selectmen,
Mhm.
which we voted for and voted yes,
Right.
right, then the price it could have hindered that, and it could have compromised that.
Right.
And then what? Well, they're still going to build it, but then it's like, who's gonna answer to that one? So
Then you have a senior center all over again.
Yeah.
Right.
And we don't want that. We wanted to be completely, speaking strictly from the Board of Ed position, we wanted to be as transparent as possible
yeah,
about this. And the information has been there for the public, whether it was on our webpage, people were sharing it on social media. The all the information that you could possibly want about it was on
Yeah.
the internet and available. And the superintendent has been available for any questions that the people that might have had
as the board of
as the board of
Ed
education.
chair. As
Yes.
the board of ed,
And he was
members.
going to, when they had special meetings at town hall about this, Sean went there to answer questions if anybody had them. So nobody can say that the board of education was trying to hide anything here, because we were not.
So Victoria says, about not signing, the order to start with the multi-purpose field. She goes, kind of like closing the barn doors after the cows have already gotten out.
Yeah. Okay.
Why aren't you that funny when you come here? Let's see. Sarah says, I'm sure the delay was due to needing the Board of Ed to bring their own printer ink down to the town hall for printing and signing.
I don't know. I'm just glad it's signed. I'm happy we're moving on.
Sarah says, goes, serious question. Why doesn't the school board or superintendent sign the contract? Don't they sign off on their own purchase orders?
No, because it's not Board of Ed. It's not Board of Education money. Money's coming
It's
from the
town
town.
money.
It's town money. That's why if that was the case, we would have just done it, and we would have had a Board of Ed vote for that budget, but for that money, that purchase.
Mhm.
But because we had to go to a town referendum for that, that is the town money. So listen, I wish it was as easy as that, but it's not.
All right, Lori Sorter. Good morning, Laura. Lori, she goes, so since it's now signed, what's the status of the committee?
Unknown at this time.
Unknown. You mean to the building committee, right? Is that what
We
we're
already-
talking about? Or are we talking about the committee that the selectmen are trying to construct?
I don't know anything about that. We've had a committee in place. The school
Yeah.
building committee right now is the governing body of that until we're told otherwise.
Okay.
With ad hoc members. I don't know anything about any.
Are you following this, Chris?
I am. I just have a question that's
Yeah.
kind of falling along the same lines as this. The town charter. Do we have a charter?
Yeah.
Okay. In the town charter, does it have a lack of faith clause?
I don't know. I have to look at that.
And that means
If you're not doing your job,
Lack
up
of
to what
confidence,
the people think
Mm-hmm.
you should be, can you be?
loss of confidence. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
I don't know.
That's something that you look at.
I can tell you this. You can do any resident can force anything in this town if they want to. It's whether or not you want to do the work or not.
Right.
So if you were talking about like maybe on a national scale, somebody trying to remove the president, loss of
Right.
confidence or whatever. If that was happening in Griswold, which personally I don't think it'll happen, and I'll tell you why. Because it's 7-8 months to
There's
the
only
election.
4 people
Yeah.
vote.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong.
Yeah. So you could actually start a petition. You'd
Okay.
have to get X amount of signatures. It's a percentage, I believe, of the registered voters. I don't know what the
Oh.
percentage. Jen Gauthier would know off the tip of her.
Yeah, we got to get our town expert for town
Yeah,
rule,
she
town law
would
expert.
know.
She's great at that, by
Yeah.
the way.
And then that will force a town meeting.
Mhm.
And at a town meeting,
You vote for a referendum.
you vote for a referendum.
See, I'm getting
And
this.
there you go.
There you go.
So just hypothetically,
Mhm.
if a town resident felt like the 3 selectmen that are in office at this time
Yep.
aren't doing their job adequately, they would have to go out and start a petition, get signatures,
yes.
go to a town meeting, get
Yes.
a referendum to have a vote of non-confidence.
Right.
Yes.
It would have to go to a town. I think it would actually have to, as incestuous as it seems, it would have to go to a selectman meeting because they're the only ones that can call a referendum, I believe.
Mhm.
Again, we need Jennifer Gauthier on that. But I see what you're saying, but I think by the time that happened, it would already be November. By the time you
Well,
got
that's
that
why I said
together.
it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Listen,
Right.
all I want to say is, you know me. We've been friends a long time. I'm a big constitutional rights person.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody every adult in this town who owns property, has a vehicle, what have you, you pay taxes in this town.
Mhm.
It is your duty as not just a resident of this town, but of the citizen of this country to exercise your right and vote, and go out there and you vote for the things that you want. And if you lose, okay, so be it. But your voice was heard. And I hate it when people say, "Well, my vote doesn't count." It absolutely does. Look at the referendum for the athletic field. It was a very narrow margin.
You and
Your
I
vote
talked.
counts.
What about the first election with Kevin Skolchak?
Yeah, two votes. I mean, listen, you want your voice heard. There's things that you want to see changes. If you don't go out and vote, then you can guarantee there's not going to be any change. You can say, well, it doesn't matter if I don't vote, there's not going to be any change anyway. Well, if you're not voting, then yes, you're correct, because your vote can make the difference. And it bothers me when people don't want to go vote, especially when you have a town election. Referendums, I get it. If something like you don't care about the field,
We'll
got
agree
it.
to disagree.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, but in a town where we're having an election for town government, get out there and put your vote in the box, man. Go out and put your vote in the box and let your voice be heard. So
You could do a mail-in vote. I mean, you don't
yeah,
have to go.
which I don't even want to go there. Put your vote. Show up at the town hall, because it's so discouraging when I go and I vote. I vote all the time because I want my voice heard, and I put my ballot in the electronic scanner, and my number pops up, and it's 4:00 in the afternoon, and I'm number 259. I'm like, and it's the only polling place in the town.
Yeah.
Isn't like we have one in Jewett City. On the other side of town, we used to be one on
Patchogue Town Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's discouraging. It's very discouraging. But by the amount of people that are bitching and moaning on social media, you'd think that we'd had thousands of people voting.
Yeah.
And that drives me absolutely batty. Either if you don't want to vote, fine. That's your personal choice. It's your right. But shut your trap. I don't want to hear your opinion because I don't care about your
I
opinion.
agree. Sarah says, poke the bear. Guess we didn't need a senior center subcommittee to the building committee. The whole thing is irritating me. It's really the same thing. You know what I mean? Why didn't we have a subcommittee to the subcommittee or whatever?
I don't know. Can't answer that. All I know
It
is
just doesn't make sense.
all I know right now, we have the school building committee is the governing body for that until we're told otherwise.
Mhm.
And then break
can-
ground in May.
Hopefully before that.
Before that, I think.
Yeah.
Probably in mid-April.
I would say
Beginning
maybe
of
earlier.
April. Yeah.
Now that we have a signed contract, I would say
Yes.
could be earlier. We could start see things,
Tomorrow.
lights coming down. We could start seeing construction equipment show up. I think Field Turf is anxious to get it going. I know
Yeah.
the school is. I know the Griswold Public School System is anxious to get it going. Because let's be honest, for the next couple of years, that's going to be the crown jewel of the campus.
Yes, sir.
Because people have said it numerous times. You can't beat the view. If you're standing up at the top of the bleachers along the back road of the school, and you're looking down on that field, and you look out over in October where the leaves are changing, there's not a better view in the ECC in my opinion.
Well, they've said it for years that Griswold High School is the best place to watch a football game, the worst field to have it on.
Yes, that is no lie.
I got a question
Sure.
about the Griswold the school committee. Am I saying that? Board of Ed.
Board of Ed?
Yeah.
Yep.
The Board of Ed. There had to be one point whether or not the Board of Ed voted to get a field.
Yep.
What was the split?
It was unanimous.
Okay.
It was all.
It was unanimous,
unanimous.
with the Board of Finance too, was it not?
Yep. Yeah, the vote for that to push forward with the field was unanimous.
So
There you go.
we're talking. The entire Board of Ed, which runs the school, right? They are the ones that make the decisions.
Mhm.
Unanimous. 9 members, 7, all 7.
Board of
Different-
Finance.
Different parties.
Mhm.
Everybody agreed. Board of Finance, different parties, unanimous. I think there was one abstention on the Board of Finance.
Maybe. Oh,
Did it go to the Board of Selectmen as a separate issue? Did the Board of Selectmen actually vote
No, they had
2-1
to-
or 3-0? And
they only vote to send it to referendum.
okay,
That was it. Yeah.
was that unanimous?
I don't know.
There's only 3 of them.
I think so. And I mean, obviously it passed, so at least 2 people voted for it.
Yeah. I think it was unanimous.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Listen, they knew that that's what the people wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obvious with the boards that voted on it. That's what we wanted, and then they had to let the taxpayers decide whether we do it or not.
So went to referendum. It passed. I don't know what the delay was.
Yeah.
What's the delay?
I don't see what the issue is.
Why
Board
aren't you
of-
there that night? So here you go.
Board of Ed, unanimous. Board of Finance, unanimous. Selectmen, unanimous. The referendum. I'm pretty sure they
Crazy.
want the new field.
So Tyler just says, when's the maybe you just popped in here, Tyler, and it's good to see you.
Hello, Tyler.
It says, so when is the grass field gonna start getting dug up?
Hopefully soon. Don't have it. I don't. There might be a date. I just don't know yet.
It gets dug up every football game.
That's right. I'm just.
Not anymore.
That's right. I'm just a dirty private in this war.
So now you got, hopefully it'll be done. They're saying, by this, but it's not just the high school kids. Grizzly Youth Football.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Grizzly Youth Football is like a huge feeder program.
Not
high
only
schools.
that, Mike,
Amazing.
we'll be able to host Super Bowls.
Yeah.
If you've been there,
Yeah.
if you people that are listening or watching have never seen a youth football Super Bowl,
Right.
that's a huge day.
Yeah.
Especially for the
Westerly last
concessions.
year.
We had it in Westerly last year, and that field was packed from 10 a.m. until what time did we get out of
7
there?
o'clock,
7, 8 o'clock at night. It was cold,
And that concession, oh my God, we were on top of the booth. I
know it.
know.
but from 10 a.m. in that day until 7, 8 o'clock that night, that place was completely packed.
And they took in thousands and thousands of dollars at the concession.
Right, because they
stand.
don't it's not just you walk up, you get charged admission, plus there's concessions. So if people want to do merchandise, whatever, it's a big thing. Then we can also host local, the ECC.
Yeah.
We could host ECC track meets.
We can do out of conference.
You can do out of conference things. So Ledyard High School has a beautiful facility because Dylan plays lacrosse over there. They're hosting private school football games over there. There's St. Thomas More, I think is the name of the
Yes.
school, having their state playoff games, football games over there. There's no reason why Griswold can't have that, but you're going to see that. You're going to have track meets over there. You'll have all kinds of different events, CIAC playoff games over there, because it's going to be it's not just for the school. It's a big thing for the whole community. And that's why I wanted people to get the bigger picture instead of saying, we don't need a field. There's nothing wrong with the one we have.
Are they going to improve the seating for the visitor side?
Eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bleachers.
To me, it's always seemed like that's the ghetto side of the field.
It is. But I mean, listen,
They can bring their own chairs.
I've
and easy up.
honestly, Chris, I can
No.
honestly tell you, I've been to most Griswold home football games since I've been here. Very rarely do you get a full crowd of people
Right.
coming to a game. Killingly is always going to be full.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll line the
Plainfield-
fence. Plainfield Thanksgiving Day game, you'll
Yeah.
get a lot of people. But for the most part, those things are probably 2/3 full.
You know what fills it up? Youth.
Yeah, youth will fill it up.
Youth. Not only just the bleachers, but people will have easy ups
Yeah.
down the field. It's really pretty cool.
Because then people that don't want to pay or whatever, they'll just come watch along the top of the fence.
Yeah.
Or our bleachers are big enough to hold all the people.
Yeah.
So
Just don't stand right behind that pole on the 50-yard line.
it's not going to be there anymore. The days of
gonna be
watching a
there.
football game with that pole in the way are gone.
Matter of fact, the lights are going to be off the field altogether.
Yep.
They'll be behind.
And they're gonna be better.
stands.
The lighting will be better because it's new
LEDs.
technology LEDs where they have like some that point down or
Mhm.
out, and then some that point up, so it refracts the light down onto the field.
So the
It's some
punt
kind of
returners
crazy
not gonna
science.
Get blinded by the lights anymore.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they're going to be all controlled with an
Yeah.
app, so it isn't like going and opening that giant switch box and throwing some big knife switch
Yeah.
to turn them on. It'll be like you can turn the lights on and off remotely.
And then if it starts to rain, the field levitates and it goes to a different town.
no, we have
Wow.
a dome that comes up from the ground.
Big glass dome.
Now a lot of people have been asking, "Whoa, are we going to put bathrooms in?" That's
Yeah.
listen.
That's a plumbing.
That's a
issue.
huge plumbing issue. It's a huge undertaking, but let's baby steps. Let's one thing at a time. Let's get this done. There are some other facilities at the school, athletic facilities that we need to focus on after the field is done. I know the baseball field needs work.
Oh, boy.
Just dig a
Inside the
trench
gym,
right
I know
down to
the
river.
gym floor has been redone recently, but I think there's talk of putting a scorer's table in, which me and a couple other parents are trying to spearhead on that. So we're working with Melissa Wooten with the Booster Club.
Yep.
So that might be installed by the fall. So who knows? But there's a lot of other things that need upgrading, and then we can look at. I mean, yes, I agree. I hate using
This
the
is
porta
big one,
potties.
though.
I hate using the porta potties, but let's one thing at a time. Right.
This is a big one. And really, honestly, truth be told, I don't know. Have you gone into a bathroom at a high school game?
I don't know. Killingly and East Lyme are pretty nice.
They're pretty nice, but they're not always clean because hundreds of people are using them, especially kids that kind
Someone's got to
miss.
clean those at the end of the day.
Exactly. What's the difference between that and the porta potty? They're both going to be kind of gross.
Look, porta potty, yeah, porta potty, you contract out anyway. Some guy comes with a big pressure sprayer and a pump.
Right. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that it's both are kind of gross.
Right. I get it.
So
But I can
Regular
understand
bathroom,
it.
You don't get your butt stained with.
That's
Ooh.
true. Ish.
I'm not
But-
sitting.
Yeah, I don't. It's too cold. I'm waiting.
All right. So we kind of dissected this pretty good today. Cut it
Yeah.
up, chopped it up, served it up. None of this is personal. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
None of it is personal because I mean, I've done shows like this before, and just pounded, whatever. It's not personal.
Yeah.
I think the only Board of Selectmen member I know really on a personal level and really is Todd, but that's not even, I mean, we don't hang out.
Right.
We
Right.
talk, we'll have conversation. I mean, we've been places and talked good half hour, 45 minutes, along with Tina and stuff like that. And never really about town stuff, just kind of
Right.
stuff,
Mhm.
So, but we've never had dinner together or anything like that. As far as the other two folks, I've met Richard Matters,
Mhm. I've seen him.
shook his hand. He's very
Never
nice.
spoken to him. Yeah.
Very nice man. Very well spoken.
Mhm.
And Dana Bennett, I've seen her out and about, and again, nothing I mean, she texted me 2 weeks ago when we were leaving a restaurant. She goes, "Hey, Dave's in there getting the pizza. Here, how was your dinner?" Okay, fine. It's pretty good. We like it there.
Yeah.
Nothing personal. Actually, I've talked to her. I've seen her at recreation committee meetings. She's funny,
Mhm.
actually.
She always says hello.
Yeah, right. So none of this is personal, and so anybody that thinks that it is, it's not.
Minarski 2023.
No.
Make Griswold great again.
No. Thanks for playing.
That doesn't
Hey,
spell MAGA.
No. Listen, hey, I just want to say, I know you want to lock it up, but I just want to recognize a couple things. All of our awesome. It's a great time to be a Wolverine, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't remember in the 10 years I've lived in this town, I can't remember a time where it's been more exciting. Right from the get go, this senior class has been amazing. From the school, bringing back school spirit, and I'm proud to say that my boy has been heavily involved in that.
Glad he came
And
back.
all these kids, the Strain boys, Evan Merchant, Gavin D'Amico, Christian Russell, Tommy Matson, all those kids, the girls.
Sims,
But just listen,
Danny Sims.
the football team had a great year.
Mhm.
The soccer team went to states, had a great year. Obviously, the volleyball team was unbelievable. It didn't end the way we hoped it would, but we're still very immensely proud of them. But what the basketball team's doing, the girls basketball team made a lot of progress this year. They made states. The wrestling team has been awesome. There's been some great individual performances. We have a lot of ECC all-star athletes from all different fencing team. The fencing team.
There you
And
go.
I'm not going to last, but absolutely not least,
curling
our
team.
girls cheerleading, the basketball cheer team.
Yeah.
They were 7th in the state in Class S last Saturday at states.
That's
They're
six.
great. We have 13 seniors on that team. 13, and a lot of those kids made ECC All Stars, and some of those girls made states. I think we had 3 girls make states.
3
Yep.
states. Yeah.
So, because I
You know
hate
where
it.
that comes from, right?
Yes,
That's a good base of information.
a good
Melissa.
feeder program. But listen, those
You
girls
don't have that. You don't.
those
have
girls
that?
have done good, and those girls get overlooked. And I try to put them out there as much as possible. Not just because my daughter is one of them, but because I believe it's important.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about this offline. The cheerleaders get overlooked a lot.
I believe the girls at 3 states,
Mhm.
the made states, Melissa and Cindy started all 3.
Good. Listen, it's a good feeder program. We got to keep building it, though. We got to keep building it because we lose a lot of kids. A lot of these girls are going on to college to do things in college, and
10
wherever
years
in
from
life.
now, we are going to have a totally different conversation.
I love it. And the girls go out there and they compete. There were third in ECC small division. Do Group 3 ECC. They were third in ECC.
Yes.
So
10 years from now, you'll be here on a daily basis.
Yep.
Because we'll be sitting here going, back when Paul was alive.
stop! Don't say that.
Back when Chris is.
We're not putting him down anytime soon. Like
Before Chris went to Hollywood.
yes, before Chris went LA on us.
Yeah. Then the Hollywood sign fell on him.
Don't
and
just
we
promise
miss
me.
him.
Promise me
Well-
you won't call it. You'll say LA, not LA.
Part of that was my fault. I took a chainsaw to it. So
Yeah.
I
Don't
wanted to
say-
Hollywood.
Call it LA. Don't say LA. Calais.
LA.
Calais. LA.
Calais. All right. Let's get the hell out of here.
Awesome.
Have a good weekend. We have a lot of things going on this weekend as far as SNSN is concerned. We're doing youth basketball. Well, he's out already. Look, he's
It's fun.
Oh,
Youth basketball is good.
yep, youth basketball.
Plus, hey, the cheerleaders fundraise at that too, by the way. So support it.
Yep, it's gonna be a long. It's a long day, but it's a lot of fun. And the kids, some of them are really really cute. I mean, we're talking 5-6-year-olds.
I love it. Yeah, I watched
yeah.
a little bit of it last week.
So that is going to be Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday, of course, we have
The boys,
the boys.
and then next
Then
Saturday.
I have a non SNSN event on Monday morning. So Monday's even going to be a very
Busy day. And then next week, spring sports.
Yeah.
Next Saturday, spring sports starts. First day of practice.
Even Little League is the tryouts have started.
I think pitchers and catchers.
Oh, you
for-
mean
The pitchers and catchers for the high school
Yeah.
start Monday, I believe, or tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 11th, right? I
Tomorrow.
think tomorrow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Here we go. We got to start. We got to
Softball, baseball, track. What else is in the spring? Lacrosse. We have seven
Track,
athletes, seven
yeah.
lacrosse athletes that are playing at Ledyard this year. So hopefully we get some Griswold people to show up at some lacrosse games. I know it's not Griswold, but we have Griswold kids participating. So
Sounds good,
get some support for those kids. Like we
dude.
support
Thanks for
others.
showing up today. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, man. I had the day off, and as nobody, the kids are off today, so nobody else in the house is doing anything. So I escaped early.
Well, I'm glad you came. And why is this not playing? There we go. All right.
We love the 80s.
See you later.